Hey y'all, welcome back to Digital Products Consulting. I am Daytonia Gooden. I have two special guests with me this week, Elise Brianna Martinez and Larissa Marion. I met these two instructional designers while networking on LinkedIn. They so graciously agreed to nerd out with me and talk about everything instructional design. I'm going to cut the video off at the halfway point and we're going to pick up the conversation next week. So like and subscribe, and let's get into the conversation. Thank you.
Right. Well, once again, thank you so much, ID Academy, for joining me today. We have Elise Martinez and Larissa Marion, right?
Marianne, yes.
Yeah. And I am Daytonia Gooden, and thank you so much for joining me. I just wanted to get some ideas. So my YouTube channel specifically is going to focus on SaaS training. So I was director level, so a lot of strategy, a lot of Gen AI and learning and design, lots of AI featured learning design and the content. So so SaaS training, that is my passion. I love instructional design. It is a language I speak. And I wanted to chat with you ladies today. So if you could, give us the minute spiel, who you are, what you do, what you're passionate about, and we can get this party started.
All right, I can go first. So my name is Elise Martinez. I'm based in El Paso, Texas, #915. I'm a transitioning educator. I was in the field for 7 years. I had the joy of teaching over 2,000 students now music education. I taught at the elementary level. I lived in Arizona, Dallas, and now back here in El Paso. And a year ago, actually around December, I discovered instructional design and I fell in love with all the creativity involved and designing this different modality of learning. I had a little taste of it during COVID where we had to refigure out how we were going to teach these kiddos. And I fell in love with Google Slides and all that interactivity. And so now with all of this and teaching myself and taking Coursera courses and LinkedIn Learning and involving myself in other communities, I have grown my knowledge base in adult learning and to adult pedagogy, andragogy, not pedagogy. So right now I've been blessed with the volunteer role where I'm constantly pushing myself past my limits and collaborating with other creative minds, and keep an eye on coaching season because amazing things are soon to come. So yeah, that's where I am right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Larissa.
Yes. So hi there. So I'm Larissa Marian, and it's wonderful to be here today. And a few words about myself. So I am passionate and empathic. I think that's the right word, empathic. Instructional designer. I have over 16 years in music education. I'm trilingual in Romanian, Spanish, and English. And I love creating and designing learning experience that is engaging, culturally responsive, and inclusive. That's very important to me, inclusive. I have my own Articulate 360 suite, and Canva and beyond. And so I'm a freelance instructional designer now. And I've just completed a 3 months internship with Marketech Digital, where we worked on creating an onboarding course for incoming IT consultative sales specialists. And my expertise lies in curriculum development. I also dabble a little bit in data, in gathering and analyzing data. So last year, I collaborated with the XAPI cohort, the fall and spring cohorts, I enjoyed that very much, and I created actually and led a beginner team together with another ID friend.
Oh, that's awesome!
Because the XAPI language, it just was so advanced. So I felt that beginners like myself in that part of learning and development just needed something more basic, more introductory. So yeah, we created a beginner team, and we learned a lot about data analysis, this part of learning and development, and gathering data with XAPI. Through this, and also made some new ID friends. I do, like I said, I do come from the world of education, and I started my instructional design journey 2 years ago. And now I am looking for the dream opportunity. So anyways, I'm so excited to be here and to collaborate with all of you and learn from each other.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Well, I have been in instructional design probably for about 20 years. I did the same thing, except my route was a little bit more straightforward. So I was an English secondary education major, but then I went into the classroom in Chicago and it just was not for me. So I did an English professional and technical writing degree. But then it just is so funny because I couldn't find a job like at all in English. It says they always say it's your fishing license. You know, it's a professional fishing license because you can just throw it out there and see what you catch, right? And I got someone told me about training and development. And I was like, oh, I get to teach, but adults, basically I get to have, that same classroom feel without children and parents. So that was it for me. I was teaching at an all, let's say, ESL school. It was an ESL school in Chicago. So I was already familiar with adult teaching, but to go and to school for it and like you, Elise, learn andragogy and exactly what it is, how to train, how to teach. And it was just so awesome. So then after I got that MBA in training and development, again, couldn't find a job. So I left the country and I went to teach in South Korea was the first place. Wow. I taught English and then I ended up getting hired as a teacher trainer. And then I came back, I went back to Chicago and stayed for a year or two. And then the job market kind of sucked again. And I was like, well, I'm out of here again. And I left and went to China. And I stayed in China for about 3 years. And it was awesome. I taught English first. And then they hired another English teacher and they were like, oh my God, can you do American Studies? Absolutely. So I did American Studies. I took a biology class. I taught a biology and a physical science. Am I a physical science or biology teacher? No, I am not. But I speak perfect standard American English and I'm smart. And we had fun. So
and you figured it out. Yeah.
Me and my students. So again, it's like that journey to instructional design, LMS administrator. I had been familiar with Moodle and Blackboard as a student, and then as a teacher, and then as a trainer. So any kind of LMS, it's like they're all the same. They all don't do exactly what you want or you need them to do. They are all
that's the truth.
They are all missing something. All of them. I don't care who, what, when, cloud-based, intranet-based. They are all the same. They all don't do everything. So pick your poison. Pick your poison. So Elise and Larissa, tell me about your journeys from education to instructional design. And I know, Larissa, you said you have Articulate 360, you have Canva. Elise, what are your favorite tools to use? What did you use in your instructional design for that first course?
So with the company that I'm working with, we have that professional plan with Canva. So I've been making, that's where I did all my mind mapping with the story design of how we're going to do this course. I used that whiteboard feature, and that was nice because I had heard of MindMeister, I think that's what it's called, where you can add everything, which is great, but your limit is like 3 of them and then you have to pay for it. So with Canva, regardless if you have to pay for it or not, you can do the same function there. So I found Canva to be very universal in that, or just sticking ideas on that whiteboard thing and asking, okay, this is what I'm thinking. What it's just that beautiful way of visually showing your design and your thought process. So from there, I created other activities, no, like worksheets or things for it to accommodate the course that we were making, like a journal, and it was interactive. So we had to go through the process of designing it all pretty in Canva and then downloading it into Google Drive so that we can have all that interactivity, or they can make their own copy, blah, blah, blah. But Canva's been really like a really fun stepping stone into creating stuff. The only thing that I do get a little buggled with is there are some limitations. Like say in PowerPoint, you can have a specific slide link to another specific slide. So you can kind of do the same action and articulate storyline where you want it to go a certain path. You just have to move like a lot of those slides so it matches up. But in Canva, you really can't. It just goes that way. So there was that limitation. And also, I mean, the graphics, the access to any other videos and stuff. And it can get a little cheesy. So the trick is to making it not look cheesy. So that's where that expertise or that playing around with stuff is really coming in. But in my opinion, you can deliver exceptional learning content from any platform, any device, and it's just a matter of expanding your mind and your tools and your capabilities. So I am enjoying Canva, and I look forward to any other updates or stuff that come along our way.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love Canva as well. I joined Idol Academy actually in May 2023 when I discovered instructional design, and I knew I really liked creating lesson plans and creating curriculums and designing learning experience. So I wanted to have more time to focus on this designing aspect. So I stumbled upon instructional design, and it looked really, really amazing. And when I joined Idol Academy, which is a wonderful trade school and boot camp, and I'm still a member now, and I've learned a lot there. So they encouraged us to learn a variety of tools. So we started with Canva, actually.
Uh,
And it's wonderful. And I feel like since then, I still feel that I have so much to learn about Canva. The possibilities are endless. When I created my my Articulate storyline course, which is still a work in progress, I didn't like any of the assets that were available in the course. So I wanted to create something personalized. I had this idea about having a main robot character, and I wanted the robot to be shown in different circumstances, in different body postures throughout the course. So Canva actually was able to provide that. I looked in Canva for robot pictures, and I kept looking until I found something that somebody else had designed. It was a set of 20 pictures of the same robot. So the robot was shown flying or, waving or a side position. And so it was great to kind of use those pictures and modify them a little bit and bring them into storyline. So it's great to combine tools.
yes.
And to supplement one tool with another tool, for sure. I'm still learning, to be honest. So that's what the limitation, I would say, is, in that this is such a broad field. So there is so much to learn and so much technology to assimilate. And now there is so much hype about AI. So even as you're learning one tool, there's already this much hype about the next.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My journey with Canva is just like yours. You know, being in instructional design, very Adobe Captivate heavy,
Mm,
very
mm.
Lectora heavy, very articulate 360 heavy. Oh my God, I love articulate so much. I could wax poetic about Rise, storyline, the LMS that's in there, the viewer that's in there. Oh my God, it is so awesome when the LMS actually talks to the course. Ah, be still, my little heart. I just created like my first Canva pieces. I would go into Canva, me and my best friend, we have our independent publishing company. She wrote a book and we published it together. So we use Canva a lot. And she was always in there. So I'm a great editor. Graphic design is not my wheelhouse. I kid you not, outsource graphic design on Fiverr.
Mhm.
Wonderful, wonderful people. They will fix and do whatever you want them to do, logos, absolutely everything. But now, just a little tidbit, because of AI, Gen AI being integrated into Fiverr, you can bypass a human and then they just offer you stuff. Oh my God, I did it with my logo. Okay, so going back to the tools, I absolutely love this. And I want to tell you before I forget because my mind goes into different places. Kevin Wheeler on LinkedIn. He is absolutely a great person to follow. He was an educator and he transitioned into being an instructional designer. He has a podcast, great following. But then there is who I stand so hard on LinkedIn. Her name is Christy Tucker. She is an expert in branching scenarios and instructional design. Christy does all of the hard lifting regarding research. Oh my God, you can just click on her page, go to her blog, and everything is there. She is always current. She is always relevant. She will tell you about the best branching scenarios and the best tools to use. She did a really great write-up on Hedra that's now, so it's AI generated videos and images. I like Synthesia, really awesome. So I encourage you to follow her as well. I stand so hard, like I always comment on her post because I'd be like, hey, Christy girls, like just say hey once, but it's okay. But there are, those are two I just wanted to point out because both of you were transitioning from that educator role. And like I said, I kind of skipped over that a little bit long time ago, but well, you know?
Yeah.
And then I wanted to ask, because there are a few things like in SaaS training that you would find yourself doing. So the kind of learner that I am, unfortunately, and this is why I'm so good at SaaS training, I jump in and try to do things, right? I don't have like objectives. I just have a thought in my head that I'm trying to come across, like a process I'm trying to complete. And then I'll go back around and read up on it, do some research, try, and fail and try and do it again. And I just wanted to do something again on this YouTube channel. So I just jumped in and I was like, okay, I know I want to do this. I know I want to say this. Everybody's doing these voiceovers and like, I don't write a script. I just go for it. And that was my first foray into Canva. And I absolutely had a ball. Now, is it good? Probably not. But the whole thing is consistency. And I always say, I can only get better, right?
Yes.
So with consistency, you and Canva, Elise, and Larissa, you and Canva, and both of you in articulate storyline. Oh my God, like I love it so much.
We're going to pause the video right here and pick up the rest of the conversation next week. Thank you so much to Elise, Brianna Martinez, and Larissa Marianne. You can find them on LinkedIn and join us next week where we'll talk about storyboarding. Thank you from Digital Products Consulting. I am Daytonia and we'll see you in the next one.